Welcome to Reality Hunt Club. Now, Chuck and I went to hunt turkeys in Kansas with Mike Wheelers of Wheelers Whitetail. Now, we heard a bunch of good things about Mike and his outfit, especially about turkeys, and we heard he pretty much got a 100% guarantee on turkeys. So anyway, we also had an alternative motive to go. We wanted to learn more about Mike and what he does to kill big Midwestern bucks. Now, Mike's kind of a legend in Kansas as to shooting huge bucks. I mean, he's got 25, 26 years of shooting Pope and Youngs. And, some of the deer he showed us, the biggest one they killed last year was 180 something, and they were down 15, 20 inches. So this video is kind of long. It's about 17 minutes long. It's broken up into two parts. One's talking about Mike and his outfitting business, and the other part is split up into helping talk about how he manages his properties for those big bucks. We thought we might be able to pull that back in to Reality Hunt Club and maybe show some of the good things he does, and maybe we can try that in Georgia and you can try it on your club. So anyway, thanks, and stay tuned and watch my interview with Mike Wheeler of Wheelers Whitetail. Welcome to Reality Hunt Club. We're up here in Kansas. Chuck and I are up here turkey hunting, and we're up here with Mike Wheeler of Wheeler Whitetails, and we're doing this Reality Hunt Club episode, and we're going to learn more about Mike and his setup up here, and we're also going to ask him some questions about his how he does his quality management of his deer, because he's got some big bucks, and we're going to video a couple of those big bucks now, and I'll show you some of those up in the top screen. So thanks, Mike, for putting up with us. Hunting wise, and by the way, we Chuck and I both got our 4 turkeys, so obviously you were successful with that. I really enjoyed your hunting with you, and I know Chuck did. And but let's get started. Do you want to say anything before, or jump in?
What I'd like to say is what I got here. I'm Mike Wheeler from Wheelers Whitetails here in Mound City, Kansas, and we got a lot of turkeys. This year we've killed 25 turkeys. Everybody's got their 2 birds, except 2 boys, which couldn't sit still in the stand, but that's another story. But we got turkeys everywhere, just like we have deer everywhere. I've got about 8,500 acres of leased land that my hunters hunt. It might be 200 acres, it might be 3,000 acres. We got one 3,000 acre piece, and then the rest is other little pieces. I set them all up the same. We have food plots, we have feeders, we have it all. I don't hunt the feeders and the food plots in the morning because we can't get to them. I mow trails to each in one of my stands, so we can get in there quiet and we can get out of there quiet. So it's very, very easy. People try to outthink themselves. All you got to do is think of a deer or a turkey as a human, and whatever a human will do, a buck would do, or a turkey would do. So I mow these trails, and just like a person, we take the path of least resistance. That's what the deer do. So
what's your saying that you said? Mow it,
make them, rake them, and the bucks will take them.
Bucks will take them. Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, like I said, I mow every year, and then once November gets here and the leaves fall, I rake them. That way you go in without a flashlight, you don't touch nothing, you don't leave no scent. Very easy.
Minimum pressure. Yeah. Now, why is Kansas so good? Why would I come and hunt with Wheeler Whitetail instead of going to a Canadian and freezing my butt off? Other than the cold weather, why would I choose Wheeler?
Well, Kansas, we don't have a lot of hunters. We never have. That's why the bucks have got so big, is for a long time you could not hunt the state of Kansas if you was a non-resident. So the bucks is average, like Missouri, the average buck in Missouri, its life expectancy is 1.5 years.
Wow.
In Kansas, it's 4.5. And it used to be 6.5 because there were so many deer that didn't have no pressure on them. You've seen the deer this last 4 days.
Yes.
They have no pressure on them.
We coming out of our blind carrying turkeys and all our gear. You'd have 2 in this corner looking at you, 4 in this corner. I mean, it was the first night I counted 16 just trying to come off this 100-acre field that you had. You know, that one little spot over there, and it was just amazing.
You know, last year like I said, I have 8,500 acres. Last year I took 42 hunters. I do not overhunt my properties. I know going in there, and I am a trail cam freak. I've got probably 46 cameras, hunting outdoor cameras that I use, and we hunt by the cameras. If the deer are there, we hunt them. If they ain't, I know which bucks I want to shoot. Not that cameras pick up everything, but they pick up a lot. They pick up trespassers. In Kansas, during deer season, I don't have a lot of trespassers. They know over the years I have cameras up. So now turkey season's a little different. We have a lot of people that from out of state that if they see a turkey, they'll drop their buddy off and he'll go after them and they'll come back and pick them up. But during deer season, you don't have that problem.
Now explain the seasons. Kansas got a muzzleloader, bow, and a gun. Explain those in the tag system for each one of those.
Well, each tag is a draw. You have to put in by April 27th to put in for a draw. But the last 8 years, everybody has drew a tag and they've had leftover. Muzzleloader season starts generally about September 20th and runs for 2 weeks. And bow season opens the same time, except for that 2 weeks you have to wear orange. Now I don't guide bow hunters until usually the last week of October.
Okay.
I run 5 weeks of bow hunters because them 5 weeks, I know if you come and hunt with me, my odds are you're going to get to see a big deer. Whether you get it, that's up to you. But muzzleloader season, I usually run 2 5-day hunts. And it's hot. It can be 95 degrees. But if you just stick with me, we'll get it done. Rifle hunting, that's a no-brainer. It opens the first Wednesday after Thanksgiving, and it runs for 13 or 14 days. You're going to see a lot of deer. And you're not going to see the big deer unless it's cold. Usually it's cold that time of year. If it's cold, it's going to be, you're not going to believe your eyes.
It's on.
Yeah, it's on. But like I said, the bow hunters start about the last week of October and run till Thanksgiving. And then I always run a week of bow hunters, December 26th through the 31st. And that's by far one of the best weeks available because the bucks they don't care about does no more. All they're worried about is filling their guts.
What was the biggest buck you guys got last year, score-wise?
Last year it was 182, but last year everybody in the Midwest was 15 to 25 inches lower because of a drought.
Georgia. Yep.
Usually we shoot one close to 200 inches every year, and then it filters down. The average buck taken off Wheeler's Whitetails is a 135, 140. We got a lot of guys from the East Coast that come in here that have never seen a 120-inch buck.
Right.
Okay. They'll shoot 120-inch, the biggest buck of their life.
Right.
And the only rule that I got, Toxie, is if you will mount the deer and put it on the wall, you can shoot it.
You're proud enough to put your tag on it and have it in your wall, you're good.
Yeah.
Some of those guys we got in our club, if they saw a 120, 130-inch deer, they'd be like you, and they'd be happy.
That's right. Well, that's
chances are they'd come back and they want something bigger. That's what we have on our club.
And see, that's why as the years progress, my percentage rate goes down because I've had 2 weeks of my archery have been the same 12 guys, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Well, you ain't going to shoot a 150-inch buck every year.
That's right. Okay.
So I've got 3 guys from Dick's Sporting Goods that if it ain't a Boone and Crockett, they're not going to shoot it.
Because they know they're going to be banking it for the following year when they get back in that same stand next year. That's good. Now you got, you still got 2 openings for rifle?
I've got 3 or 4 for the second week of rifle season.
Okay.
And I think 1 or 2 for the first week of rifle season. I don't know, well, I know why, because I had a group that lost their jobs with the economy the way it is. And that's something else that, you know, you was talking about Canada. It costs you $7,000 to go to Canada. Here, it costs you $3,500. Then you got to pay for the tag, and it's a lot cheaper to get to the state of Kansas than it is to get to Canada.
I mean, I'm not afraid of the cold. I know it could be snow and all that, but I've seen Chuck's been in Canada, but I like the terrain. I like the fields. I like the, it just looks more like what I'm used to in the South.
Yeah.
Now let's do a little bit. Chuck and I are trying to learn a little bit for our reality hunt club, so we're trying to learn. Obviously, you're sponsored. You go around talking about deer at all the big conventions and stuff like that. So we wanted to ask you a couple of questions so we can learn to maybe make our Georgia club a little bit better. Like we're in the process of planting. I know you're planting. We got up here. You said you've been on the tractor for 3 days, and you kind of been looking up at the sky, going, "Where's the rain?" Because the weather is supposed to have been raining the last 3 days. Now, what are you planting during the spring for your deer up here?
I am a huge clover freak. I love clover. And just like if you
waist deep clover now.
Yeah, I mean, these guys come and they couldn't believe my clover was up to their waist. I am a firm believer in clover. But when you plant food plots, you've got to have, if you have 100 acres of food plots, 10% of it has to be grains, which is soybeans, corn, wheat, or anything like that. You have to have winter food for them too, because once the ground temperature gets below 40 degrees, 45 degrees, your clovers go dormant. And whatever you've got, and once they eat it down, it's not coming back. But your wheat and your rye and stuff like that, that keeps growing. Any sunshine on it and it'll grow. They'll have food year round. Turnips. I never was a big believer in turnips in Kansas, and I planted them for 25 years, and finally, for some reason, the last 2 years, they've been eating them.
Digging them up in the snow and stuff like that?
Well, they eat all the green, and once the green gets gone, and then there's no other food, when it snows on them, yeah, they'll dig them up and eat them.
Now, do you plant now for the spring, summer, do you come back and plant it again for fall? Or?
Oh, yeah. I plant a little, not a lot of food plots in the spring, because you're competing with grasses and weeds.
Well, you got some great clover, so you know. That's what the deer, I told you at 16, they were eating that clover.
Most of the time, I plant in the fall because the weeds and the grasses have went dormant, quit growing, and then what I'll usually do is I'll go in there and I'll put in 90% of clover, 10% wheat together in the same field. And then next spring, when it comes up, the wheat will die, I'll mow it, and you'll have lush green clover about that tall, and then it just takes off.
Oh, yeah. You got some great looking clover. I mean, you got to see one of our turkey hunts about the clover. I was picking with them because all you could see was the top of the head. They're just swimming in the clover, and it was a good hunt.
I've got a new clover that we've come out with. It's made by Invite Food Plots. It's Invite Extreme Wildlife Products. And it's a clover alfalfa mix, which I'm not big in alfalfa, but the clover generally will choke it out if it's got a good stand and it's got enough rain. You've seen it. It's waist high, lush, and the deer love it. So
we're trail camera nuts, and apparently you are. You mentioned it before. I like the whole philosophy. You hunt the cameras. If the deer's there, he's going to continue to be there. If the deer's not there, you don't waste your time with your hunters. And I really like that. So we really don't need to talk about that anymore. Now the mineral program. This is what Chuck was really talking about. Do you want to go through your mineral program and that whole spiel that we talked about?
Well, minerals, a lot of people elect not to use minerals. I don't know why. I know they're expensive to buy. That's why I started my own. I've got my own mineral that it costs me very cheap. I have been tweaking it for 25 years, and I've got it to where they'll eat it 10.5 months a year. It's not got 90% salt. That's what you guys need to stay away from.
Talk about the salt.
Well, any deer is going to eat salt. And you look at all these minerals out there, if it's over 50% salt, it's not good for them. It's just not. What salt does, like I said earlier, as a human, if we eat too much salt, then we drink a lot of water. When we drink a lot of water, we don't eat as much. If you don't eat the proteins, your rack ain't going to grow, or the does lactating, they do without. So I finally got a mineral that's got a lot of good stuff in it, and it's only 35% salt at the most, and they'll eat it 10.5 months a year. I've also got some products in it that help keeps the ticks and mites and stuff off of them. It don't do it 100%,
Right.
but out here in Kansas we got a lot of ticks, and I can show you pictures of a deer that's got 500 to 1,000 ticks on its rack.
Right.
And then on my properties that I use the mineral, they don't have half that.
Right.
So mineral's good, and it's easy. You go out there every other month and you dump 50 to 100 pounds on your spots. And then I don't put cameras very much over my mineral spots because I want that deer to know I'm safe.
Right.
I'm the only thing here, and they'll stay there longer.
Right. And the fact they're hitting it 8, 10, 12, 8, 10 months a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, we've hit all the questions, and this guy's for real. There's no bull about it. And we've had a great time. We've getting to know you and all that. And tell them how to contact you if they're interested in coming and drink. I really believe the $3,500 to come shoot a trophy buck. I was sitting in a food plot turkey hunting, knowing that a 200+ inch deer is running around a couple hundred acres from me. Gives me chill bumps now thinking, but it's also giving me chill bumps as I was walking out. And walking out, it really wasn't bumping deer. They were just sitting there watching me walk by because they were too busy eating the clover and everything else you got.
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of me, WheelersWhitetails@hotmail.com. My phone number, 913-795-2632. That's my home phone. I've got a web page, WheelersWhitetails.com.
Yeah. We'll put all this up on the screen when we edit this out.
Just get a hold of me, and if you got any question on food plots, call me. I'll talk, I'll help. I help everybody.
That's why we're up here, because Chuck and I never claim to know everything. Half of these shows we're up there messing things up and trying to tell you. And when you got an expert that's got the kind of deer in history that, 26 years you've shot a Pope and Young with your bow. Knock on wood. Even left-handed when he has to have right-handed shoulder.
Yeah.
So the guy knows what he's talking about.
I've shot 26 Pope and Young bucks in a row. 2 years ago I had to do it left-handed because I fell and hurt myself. Right. But anyway, that's a long story. But
Mike knows what he's talking about, and to be honest with you, that's the best deal I know. And so appreciate it. We had a great time, and call them up for your turkey hunts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, guys, come up here and turkey hunt. Chuck and Gabby come up here first opening weekend, and I like kids hunting, but I also like kids that like to hunt. And I was so impressed with her, 12-year-old girl, that at 4 o'clock in the morning, she's up and out of bed, ready to go hunting. So I enjoyed you all.
Yeah.
Gabby, I hope you come back because we have more turkeys for you to select.
My son's pouting because he's got school. He's not homeschooled, and he's like, I want to go up there. So,
yeah.
So hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something with this. We wanted to promote Mike. We also wanted to show you some of his practices that he does here in Southeast Kansas. You consider it Southeast Kansas, right?
Yep.
Southeast Kansas. And so anyway, thanks for watching Rally Hunt Club. We're going to come up with some more webisodes. Chuck and I going back in a couple of weeks. We got to do some planting, and we're going to finish out that, and then it'll be May 15th. We'll start putting our cameras out, trying to see if we can grow some antlers, some junior deer compared to Mike's. But
just remember, Mike Wheeler from Wheeler's Whitetails. Call me. I'll answer any questions, and all I can say is, through the good Lord Jesus, good luck hunting.
That's right, definitely. So thanks for watching Rally Hunt Club. We have a ton of ways for you guys to follow us and to keep track of our new videos that we put out. Probably the most popular way is Facebook. Log into your Facebook account and go up to the top search bar and type Rally Hunt Club. There you'll see our Facebook page. Go over and like us, and you'll be getting updates in your Facebook stream as to our new videos that come out. Another way is youtube.com/Toxic Givens. Click the subscribe button up at the top, and you can subscribe. And of course, you can always leave your comments in Facebook. You also can do it here in YouTube. This is me showing you an example of how to leave a comment in YouTube. And of course, we have a Twitter account too. You can follow @ToxicGivens if you have a Twitter account. And of course, we have the website, toxicgivens.com.
You can follow us there. And if you've got an iPhone or any kind of MP3 device, you can click on the link iTunes, and we have an iTunes channel where you can download a smaller version of these videos. And finally, we're on Google Plus. If you log in your Google Plus account and you type Reality Hunt Club, it'll take you to our Google Plus page. So many ways to follow us. Pick one, pick them all, however you want to. Please follow us and keep track of our videos, and we'll keep bringing you good content and from this point on. So thanks for watching Reality Hunt Club.